Unsupermarket.
Welcome back to The Unsupermarket, the podcast where real food, real farmers and real stories come together outside the aisles of supermarkets. I'm Lee.
And I'm Jane. Recently, Lee, I was in Victoria and I met up with a local generational farming family, Gazzola Farms. So in this podcast, we're heading down to the most beautiful part. It's called Somerville on the Mornington Peninsula. And we had a chat with Paul Gazzola, who was just dynamic.
Always great to find out more about our Aussie farmers, Jane. But Jane, the big news here also is that Box Divvy has officially expanded into Victoria. It's a huge milestone for the community-powered food systems, and it means more locals connecting directly with farmers like Paul, who we're about to meet, and cutting out the middleman, taking ownership of their food choices. We have 3 hubs already and opening in Templestowe. Leading the way on the 1st of September is our first hub, which is being run by CareNet. Now, CareNet's an organisation that supports families with food insecurity.
That sounds fantastic. It's not just also about buying fresh produce. We also give them education around food, but it's also, Lee, about keeping money in communities and supporting our Australian farmers who know the land and eating their food that's grown with care.
Well, there's something powerful about proximity. So research shows, Jane, that people living near a local food hub tend to eat better. I guess it's nutrition wrapped in connection. That's a good saying.
I like that. Also, Lee, diabetes too, which is part of the premise of what we're trying to solve, it's rising across Australia. And it's not just about personal food choices, it's a mix. It's a mix about lifestyle and environment and social factors as well.
Even genetics, Jane, play a role. But the good news is that lifestyle changes, better access to healthy food and community programs can make a big and a very real difference.
Yeah, and we've just had a study in appetite. It's a real journal. It's not about snacking. Looked at how community food co-ops are actually improving people's diets.
Western Sydney and Wollongong universities, both of these universities teamed with Box Divvy and performed a survey. They surveyed over, I think it was 2,200 current members of Box Divvy hubs.
Yep, and their results were published, and the results, brace yourself, food insecurity basically halved.
And plus what farmers want, having people eating more fresh fruit and veggies. So on average, Jane, get this, members increased their vegetable intake by 3.3 serves a week, and the fruit was slightly less. It was 2.5 serves of fruit intake per week. So that's basically a salad revolution.
Oh, there's another one. And the biggest win, I think, out of this, and the secret to living longer, eat more fresh food.
Well, the study's online, and if you want more details, please check out the links in the description below.
Now, being in Victoria, it's important to note that Vic Health's work with local councils highlight embedding food hubs into communities, and it can foster healthier eating, reduce food waste, which is all what we're about, and build local resilience. They actually train staff, their council staff, to involve kids and young people in designing programs and focus on real community needs. They've got over 130 local projects from mental health to healthy eating. So shout out to Vic Health. And especially in the areas that need it most. It's all about empowering communities to take charge of their own health, and it's actually working, and that's exactly what Box Divvy are doing. So we really look forward to some wonderful work down in Victoria.
Absolutely we do, Jane. So now we're going to go to the Gazzola Farms and Paul's story, which hits all the right notes. His family have been growing in Victoria for generations, and they're part of a bigger picture. A bigger movement, one where transparency, sustainability, and guide the way, basically, that food is grown.
Hi, everyone. I'd like to introduce Paul Gazzola. He is Gazzola Farms in Mornington Peninsula in Victoria. Hi, Paul.
How you going?
Good. So can you walk us through some of the history of your family?
I'm third generation. We currently have a fourth generation in the business as well. And that's the first generation. That's my father, this young guy here. But my grandfather and grandmother and my uncle and auntie. So they started the business back in 1932 at a place called Narre South, which is sort of half an hour from here. So that's Dad as a young boy back at the home farm, one of our first grey Fergies. This was these replaced the horse and plough. So prior to this, there was still being ploughed by a horse. There's myself, Andrew, and my brother Colin. Colin runs our Rosebud farm. Andrew's here with myself, running here. And this one here is Dad again, but it's a load of iceberg lettuce in banana boxes back in the day. That's how they used to do it. So that's how I used to go to the old Queen Vic market 2 or 3 times a week. Our main lines are lettuce, broccoli, celery, Asian veg and Cos lettuce. We grow using a philosophy called IPM, Integrated Pest Management. It's something that we learnt many years ago. Back in my grandparents' day, it was basically spray to kill everything that moved in a crop. Napalm the
Roundup.
crop. Yep. Well, not Roundup, that kills a crop.
Yeah.
You'd kill anything that moved.
Yeah.
Whereas today, what we do is we monitor the crops. We look at what beneficials and harmful insects are in the crop. And if we do spray our crop with any protectants, it's generally something that is specifically targeted to the pests we're trying to eliminate. It doesn't harm the beneficial insects, so we encourage nature to be part of that process.
So I saw the ladybugs on.
Correct.
Tell me about them.
So ladybugs will tackle grubs and aphids. All right. So we get the grubs that'll go into the crop or an aphid. There's one there called the lettuce aphid, which can get into our lettuce crops. The ladybird, and probably more so the ladybird larvae, eat them ferociously, but they can get into the crop and actually get to where our sprays and chemicals can't. So they keep things in check. So we're monitoring those levels all the time. So people have a hard...
So you're using nature to actually manage your crops.
Absolutely. So people have a hard time understanding where we sit with that IPM, but I give chickens an example. You've got your battery hens sitting over here, which are farm raised in sheds. You've got your free range organic chickens all the way over there. We're like the free range growers. We're not organic, but we're damn close to that. Because a lot of the things that we use, organic growers can use. So they cross over. So we're all about assisting nature to give us as much assistance as possible. So minimising our impact on nature, but assisting where we have to. We're monitoring our crops on a daily to weekly basis. We have an entomologist that comes through and does bug counts on a weekly basis, inspecting them for harmful insects, and also doing beneficial counts as we go along. One of the things that you need to realise with IPM, there's always going to be a level of insects within your crop, be they beneficial or harmful. There's always going to be some level of insect activity within your crop. So it's getting consumers to understand that it's not bad to have a ladybird arrive home with your lettuce. It's actually a really good thing, and it's a good sign that your crop's clean, it's been treated well, and it's had the minimal amount of chemical inputs that you could possibly do.
How do you do your soil management?
We put cover cropping in, so we'll put a grass crop in. It might be oats or forage, some forage grass, and we'll let that get up quite high, and then plough that back into the ground, which gets our organic matter back into the ground. We have a lot of organic inputs, being it might be compost or wherever we can source it from. We've got to look after our soil because it has to look after us.
Yes.
So we're doing the best we can. We do soil testing annually. We're monitoring our inputs, and we're making sure we reapply what we've taken out to maintain those levels to get the best result at the end of the day. We've got a lot of trees, so every tree you see around the property when we drive around, we plant it. This was just a greenfield site.
And I noticed windbreaks. It's quite a windy area.
Windbreaks, yep, so it protects the crops. They're cypress tree hedges, but you'll see a lot of gum trees around the area as well. There's a lot of other fauna we have around which actually attract beneficial insects. So they're a bit of a nursery for our crops. So the beneficial insects need somewhere to go if there's no crop. So they go into the native fauna. And when we have a crop, and they'll move into the crop when there's something there for them to eat. They know that. So it's a way of just maintaining the ecology.
Yeah.
We're very reliant on rainfall on this property. Our other property, we've got artesian water and recycled water, but here we're very reliant on catchment. So we store up to 800 megs on site here in our dams, but we need to catch that water. We're employing technology wherever we can to try and stay in front of the curve. So be it automation, all of our packing facilities out in the field, we've got mobile packing stations out in the field to try and minimise the impact on our product. So from a point of harvest through to when it leaves here, it's minimal touch and it gets through as quickly as possible. We've invested in the latest technology in refrigeration and cooling to maximise the shelf life of the product going forward.
I think perhaps if you could take us and show us a little bit around, and then we can show a little bit of that background for
I think we can do that.
everyone. Great.
All right. So vacuum cooling, it's been around for a long time. Trolley goes in, 4 pallets, close the doors, seal the chamber, and we suck the air out of it. The technology behind vacuum cooling is at sea level, the atmospheric pressure is 1,000 millibars.
Oh yeah.
So if you look at this, as you pull the air, the atmospheric pressure down, the boiling temperature of water drops. So the top of Mount Everest, water boils at about 65 degrees, roughly. The higher the altitude, the lower the atmospheric pressure, the lower boiling point of water. That's how explorers used to measure altitude when they're in the
Boiling
mountains.
water. Oh,
Correct.
wow.
We pull it down to 7 millibars. Water boils at 2 degrees.
Oh wow.
At 7 millibars. So at some point as you pull the vacuum down, the product is hot enough to boil water. So naturally what happens is moisture starts to transpire off the product. But to do there has to be a transfer of energy, release of heat.
Yeah.
So it's actually cooling itself under those conditions.
Yeah.
So the quicker you get the field heat out of anything, the longer the shelf life, because you're stopping the rot. Because as soon as you harvest the product, it wants to break down.
Paul, do you have a favourite vegetable that you grow, the one that you particularly like?
Celery's probably been something that we've how would you say, it's in our blood. Yes. We've been growing for many, many years. We actually do our own seed production. So we have our own variety that we've bred over the years as well, which is proving to be very good as far as sweetness, juice, and the main reason we do that is for the springs we have a slow bolting variety, because here in this area, no, we can't grow a commercial variety because it'll just bolt to seed. So we do our own seed selection for that time of the year to make sure that we've got celery 12 months of the year. So that's our midi cos. So we do that in a single sleeve. So this is broccoli. So that one plant will give you that one head of broccoli.
How long does it take for that to grow to?
In the summer, we'll do broccoli from transplant to harvest 7 weeks. In the winter, that could go out to 14 weeks.
Wow.
At our peak time, we're putting close to 1 million plants a week in the ground between all of our products.
1 million?
Yeah.
Wow. That's the property.
Wow. It's an old photo, but effectively each one of those green dots is an irrigation valve out in the fields. I can fire everything up from here or my phone, whatever. Ready. Yeah.
So all the irrigation can be controlled in one spot. Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Wonderful. When it's harvesting, does it go into a cold, is that a cold room or?
No, it's just a sheltered trailer.
Right.
It's like it's a mobile packing station effectively. So that trailer there is our first version of for Asian veg. Those ones you see out there, they're our Cos trailers. They've got a chain at the back that rotates, they drop into the cups and then they come up, get a wash, and then they go straight into the sleeve, or the babies will be in the crate, or the big Cos will be straight in the carton. So see those fork frames there sitting on the ground?
Yeah.
They mount on the front and back of a tractor. They carry 3 bins, and the boys literally they're cutting and putting them straight in the bin.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're selecting for size.
Yeah.
As they're cutting.
As they're cutting.
Said rain, hail or shine, they're out there.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Wasn't that wonderful, Lee? Paul actually mentioned to me about celery, which they grow, and it's a quiet achiever in the veggie world. Celery might seem simple, but it's actually a powerhouse when it comes to weight loss. It's low in calories, high in fibre, and incredibly hydrating.
Oh, absolutely, Jane. Celery's got anti-inflammatory superpowers, I would say. Loads of antioxidants, and it's basically a hydration hero. It's 95% water and it's packed with potassium. It's great for digestion. Some studies even link compounds in celery like lutein to better memory and better mood. So it's not just good for your body, it might even give your brain a little bit of more love too.
Speaking of superpowers, Lee, we're about to suggest using this crunchy green stick of celery into liquid gold. Paul Gazzola suggests making celery juice. Look, add an apple or carrot, half an hour before breakfast, have the juice, and it will literally whoosh out your system.
Well, look, celery juice, I think, is it's a VIP of veggie drinks. It's refreshing, it's revitalizing, and, well, it's just a little bit fancy if you add that carrot and that apple, which I'd highly recommend. Your straight up, weighed up celery juice. It's probably not the most palatable juice I've tried, but then, it is actually very easy to make it a little bit more fancy. So everyone, how about you make your mornings a little bit greener and a whole lot healthier?
Yep. And I've also done some celery recipes, which you can see on the Box Divvy website. The links are below in the description, or you can go to the Box Divvy site and you will find it there.
And Jane, we are always looking for people to run hubs in their communities. We run an online webinar once a month with more information on running your very own hub, allowing you to ask questions and understand exactly what's involved.
I might just jump in there. We're New South Wales, ACT and Victoria now. So get in there and register. Yep.
The link is below for our upcoming webinar, and I run the webinars, and I'd love to meet you face-to-face if you'd like to come and join.
Thanks, Lee, and goodbye, listeners, until our next Unsupermarket podcast. And remember, Unsupermarket!